And what's going on, everybody? Remy here from the Real Deal Plays, and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, right here on the channel. Not gonna lie, almost did the opening for Persona 5, but yeah, anyways, last time left off, damn, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Mentally, I'm off today. But last time we left off, we found out that Nagito Komade, the ultimate lucky student, had met a brutal, very brutal end, to just say the least. And now, after exploring everything we could, and learning some information from Monokuma, not just about, everything that's going on with Monami supposedly lying to us, but also the fact that the person who claimed to be Byakuya Togami was actually another student who had the ultimate talent of being the ultimate imposter. The class trial is here, so let's make our way over.
Damn right.
Looks like everyone's here. Huh? This is it? Shouldn't there be more
Damn
people?
it.
Stop it. You're making me depressed. So, it is going to happen again. The cruel conflict where we must doubt our friends. But once we do this, we can go back,
That's right.
And Monokuma Master said so, didn't he? He said that this is the last class trial. We've been tricked every step of the way. There's no way I can believe that so
Of
easily.
course not.
Why can't you believe it? The guy who's making us do all this is the one saying it. So,
You know, right?
That's why I'll definitely survive. And we can really go home after we deal with this class
That's
trial.
right.
I'll definitely find out who the killer is, no matter what. Even if I gotta pull out all the stops.
You.
What the fuck? Why are you here? You haven't realized it yet? A feeling of wanting to leave this island. Thinking like that is Monokuma's trapped, you know. Huh? What are you saying? There's no way Monokuma will end things here. He's planning something far worse. Stop trying to jinx
I'll
us.
pick you up.
Damn right. Stupid rabbit should just shut up. Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair. Huh? I have finally realized after losing my powers, I've realized that cursing you powerlessness or your fate accomplishes nothing. The possibilities may be small, but as long as there's a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. So I will fight.
Huh?
What's her deal? I do not really know, but she seems to be different from before. Maybe she read a self-help book.
Wait.
But her eyes, they look so determined. What can I tell you? What can you tell by looking at those button eyes? Anyway, make sure you turn off Minnie Morrow. It'll be annoying if he starts talking about the trial. Oh, fine.
But still.
Somehow, I understand what Monami is saying, I think. Anyway, let's get going to the last class trial. You're right. We need to fight as much as we can. No matter what hopeless truth awaits us in the end. This is the end. I kept saying those words to myself over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock.
Yeah.
This elevator ride. This will be the last time for this too, right? I hope so. Let's worry about things after we finish.
You are right.
More importantly, we must focus on the class trial before us.
Damn it.
The killer managed to kill someone like Nagito. There's no way this is gonna go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do that. Nagito was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials. Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. But even if he's gone, the ones who survive need to stand and fight. We must fight. And then, the door slowly opened. This bright light greeting us. Is that the light of hope? Or the light of despair?
Well now.
Well then, now that Chatterbox Nagito's gone, there are only 6 of you
Shut
left.
the hell up!
Enough. Just fucking start this already.
Hey!
Hey, this is it, right? This really is the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Yep, sure is. So, you gotta show some enthusiasm and make sure you give it your all.
All right.
Didn't I tell you? He said it. This is the end.
Now then.
Now then, let's get this trial started.
Viva killing!
This is the last class trial. Show some enthusiasm and kill each other. And this is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. The curtain is about to rise. Nagito Komade, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy, and he came across as very sociable. But his true nature held such a demented thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. He said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said that he was yearning for a powerful hope that could overcome any despair. He said that he would help despair just to prove that hope would never lose to despair. And he said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. But there were also times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. And I have no idea at all who did it. But there's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out. The person who finished off Nagito. The killer who murdered Nagito. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. And Monokuma says this is the last class trial. That's all the more reason we need to do this. And so, the life-threatening trial billowed with hope and despair, the last one, has begun. Yes, sir, we're gonna save this, cause shit from here on out is about to get real as fuck. Agito, because they said fuck the end, Nagito was brutally murdered. His unpredictable death has left a looming shadow of mystery in the hearts of Hajime and the others. Who is the traitor? What was the clue Nagito left? Will they be able to see the light within the darkness? Alright, between hope and despair. I'm not gonna lie, I had to look over because my fucking mic is in the way, which still getting used to, but hey, you know, did it. Also, we're hopping right into this because I don't have no skills to equip. Let's go. All rise.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
Oh my god, hang on. Hopefully that's better, because at least for me, you guys probably, more than likely, won't hear it, but that shit sounded awful in my ear. Also, Monami don't fuck with you no more.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit?
This is not helping. Fuck it, I just gotta roll with it now.
Yes, though!
Oh, she's still. Oh, yeah.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop. I feel bad for Monami.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... Alright. Torture room, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, Monokuma panels, oil lighter. Okay.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him?
Facts.
Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Right? Why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No. Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer
Okay, hang on,
didn't
let me
tape
see my shit.
Nagito's
So-
mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you.
Let's see. I feel like survival knife's gonna be like where we found it. Knife for the military base. Okay. So what was duct tape? Nagito's mouth was covered by duct tape. However, the blood splatters was... Oh! Bet. Say less.
They
I
were
got it.
torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong.
But his mouth was duct tape.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
Oh, here we go. This early, huh? Let's get it.
Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
You gonna call me stupid when I'm the one who contributes the most to this? Okay. Stupid. Alright.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you'd obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Wait, what?
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Facts.
Pay attention. This is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
Okay, how's that?
damn it! Tortured Nagito and got information about...
Okay, problem. I need something to prove that the Okay, so I need something to prove that they didn't duct tape him after they tortured him. That would be the duct tape. Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape. However, the blood splatters onto his face. Wait, if there's blood splatter on his face, why the fuck would it not?
At the bomb's location. Then,
Allow me to cut through those words.
I didn't even mean to do that. I fucking missed. I was going for the other one.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
what did you say?
Well, this is going to be a fun trial.
Who cares about the duct tape? Might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors. We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Are you in elementary school or
You were
something?
with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wound, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
Oh, cool. This fixed absolutely fucking nothing. So I went to go switch my cords out because I assumed that my cords were the reason why this shit sound like this. Yeah.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard.
Accurate. Just saying. The amount of shit you had to go through to make this one work, it's like, ooh.
If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
Hmm? The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect.
This nigga.
Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Let's call her fucking Sonia. The fuck?
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? You're right. We need to clear that up first. Alright.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
Correct.
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused
Oh, no, hang on.
intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
Oh, hang on, Sonny, you wanted something. Let me open that damn door. Some kind of setup that was used to start the fire. What could that be? I got you. Sonya was
The
on
direct
something.
cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at
The killer used he lit the curtain on fire.
some kind of setup.
Did they use the oil?
They probably just based on the shape it can stand up.
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
Some way? Maybe they used invisible.
There should have been a way to
Or perhaps opening the door.
You right.
I agree with that.
Sonya on the ball with it. Let's get at it.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
The fuck is a dust devil?
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma Panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Oh fuck, wrong thing. God damn it. Here we go with this shit.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second, and from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
Makes sense.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
killer did one other thing to hide the domino effect. Oh yeah, this one I remember. They was playing that music, baby. An MP3 player that connects to the speaker. The music that was blaring throughout the warehouse when Hajime and the others arrived was coming from this.
I see!
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
Inside of the warehouse felt even darker because of our eyes. Can't read. Inside the warehouse felt darker because our eyes were still used for the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud song. I can't pronounce that shit. A loud song blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, did you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Is Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking about the music. As if on cue, it suddenly started.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling. But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine. I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, it'll be fine. In those words, Akane brushed past everyone. Akane brushed past everyone without ever. Akane brushed past everyone's warning and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Huh? It's not opening. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew it. What the crap? Seriously, just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you it'd be fine? It's gonna use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? How did I ignore the protest and with a mighty kick the door flew open?
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel. And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter. Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
That door was the only entrance to the warehouse. I see. So the problem she's talking about is... The killer couldn't have...
I see!
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used. You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
You don't mean...
But if that's true, it's a murder.
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. Oh, look at the evidence. Look at the evidence. A domino effect set up in the warehouse. The fire was set off because of the domino effect. The way the dominoes were set up, only one person. But the way the dominoes were set up, and the fact that there's only one way to the warehouse, there's only one way to come in and one way to get out. Yeah, and the fact that those panels kind of blocked the door off meant that once you did it, you were stuck in there. And if you remember from knowledge, there was only one person who was stuck in there.
This is my answer. What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
You know, I'm gonna let it slide this time, because any other time I'd be like, hey, yo, can you be like a tad bit more confident in what you're
Are
saying?
you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
I mean, but this is Nagito we're talking about here. Any motherfucker who is so willing to die for our cause would probably be able to do it with his own hands, if he felt needed.
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
And if they were, do you really put it past someone like Nagito to be the one to do it to themselves?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like he said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
What?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Something that Nagito committed suicide is correct. Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing. Tying both arms would be
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your
Okay, let me see what
own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Wait, what's going on today? Or in the world? The rope that was used to tie Nagito's right arm is burned off. However, Nagito's right sleeve looks clean. This might be it. If that rope is burned, it will give him a free
Tying
arm.
just the legs is one thing. Tying both arms would...
You couldn't do much with...
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
That's it? No. Is there any way for you to tie your arms and legs by yourself? If so, I'd like you to explain it to me. Try demonstrating it right now, you dumbass.
Crap!
Oh, damn, nigga. I don't do shit to you.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs.
Wait, what if you did just tie his arms and legs?
That's
Oh, fuck.
obviously impossible.
Tying just the leg, tying both arms would...
You couldn't do much with... It'd be impossible.
How about if you use... Or if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Alright, well, what if you didn't know?
To actually tie up your own arms...
Yeah.
No,
I'm about to
that's
say, What
wrong.
if you didn't know? Like Tim said, the rope was burned. The rope was burned, but the sleeve is clean, right?
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that the rope on Nagito's arm is burnt. The proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap. His right sleeve,
I see.
It's clean, untouched.
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
I will take up on that offer after the sledge trial is done.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
Akane, don't listen to her. We'll both go to jail for prostitution. This is consensual. Neither one of us will go to jail if you do this. Facts for Hajime. Someone can get you into prostitution. This is consent. We can do this, and nobody will go to jail.
That's definitely wrong.
Thank you, Fujiko.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's prostitution. We're going to jail.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Shit, you ever seen a skill knife though? This motherfucker that... You know what I mean?
Hajime, you tricked me.
Give me back that Benjamin.
Bitch, I never gave you a Benjamin to begin with. I don't know if she's trying to charge me, but now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
The way to stab yourself with your right hand using only your right hand. Okay, there's definitely an answer to this.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air
That's what I'm saying.
and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
He could.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
I mean, he's the ultimate lucky student.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow and slammed his right hand down on it? Propped it onto what?
This dude.
If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
What?
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily.
Accurate.
We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
Now, Jockey might have been on to something though. Nagito could only use his right hand to stab himself in the palm. How did he do it?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
I don't know what's
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall,
I thought, what's my phone question again? Kind of a cycle through these shits all time. Looks like somebody kind of fucking from the stomach. I was like, Monokuma plushie that was found on the floor near the fire's origin point, and a huge bloody hole in his stomach. Oh, there it is.
could he stab his hand that way? Is he a throwing knife expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Let's go.
I agree with that. The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
Oh my god, the amount of pain you must have fucking felt. No wonder he needed that fucking duct tape. I'd be screaming like a motherfucker.
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
Facts, I would have thought this motherfucker just lost his virginity.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then, he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
I mean, it's kind of possible, but at the same time, look at that spear. Look how deep into this man's stomach it is, bruh. If that spear was a dick, his internal organs are all fucked right now. Like, it's over. There's no way in hell. I'm not saying it's impossible, but ain't no way in hell a lot of people got enough willpower to keep that going.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Pretty much. Right, go get your badge, bro. Somebody go get that badge, Kazuichi, bro. Hey, I try to look past it, but this nigga's like...
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Nagito, you rocking the... I said Nagito. Kazuichi, you rocking the 2-inch Punisher, my G.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear.
I love how Chiaki even went as far as to dance around it. It was like, yeah, I'm not going to repeat it for your satisfaction.
It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
Facts. And with how long that fucking spear is, yeah, no, that jamming that to your stomach would be kind of difficult.
So you're saying it's impossible? But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else. I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Oh, Monami said, fuck you. Stay in your lane, nigga.
Monami sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. This might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone.
Okay.
No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
Did she say that, or did Akane say that?
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible. I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now. Everyone working together.
She's right. We made it through several ordeals up till now by doing that. And even now.
All right, let's do this.
Alright, what we got? Alright.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through. When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand. If that's the case, the only other way is...
He used his teeth?
Or maybe he used his front tail.
Let me go with the tail.
I know guys have tails that get hard when they're grabbed.
You're not that.
What do you say?
That?
Bossing Miss Sonia is freaking awesome!
Nagito committed suicide and he must have used that spear to stab himself. Even if his arms and legs were tied up, there's no doubt that he used some part of his body. The only thing he could have used is... Oh, blood on the left hand. What's that? That was splattered on the palm of Nagito's left hand for some reason. Splatter cuts off in the middle of his palm. Also, the back of his left hand has an unnatural bloodstain that's only above the middle finger joints. Okay.
Did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together. When the spear stuck his right hand was cupped.
He was only able to, but his left hand was...
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, it doesn't. Explain why his hand was like that there. Now I can remember looking at that shit. That shit looked pretty fucking weird.
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That would make sense that it hit everything else but the palm.
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
What was Nagito doing with his left hand when the blood splattered? He was gripping.
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
I wish.
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear! Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right. That's the
Hey,
problem.
Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
What section of the spear was he holding on to? If I remember, it was the cord, wasn't it?
I see!
So there would be no way for him to grab everything else.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh?
Gripping real
And then
good.
the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping a cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand. And from there, how would he have stabbed himself in his stomach with the spear?
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time? At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
God fucking damn, that's a long ass plan. Holy shit, can we get an acronym for that?
That's a long plan name.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
One step at a time? What does that mean? Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up, and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. So, if it was just before that, that's it. Could it be the tip of the spear? And the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attached. When I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where was the spear? What state it was in when Nagito got stabbed? Logic dive or Hangman's Gambit? Good, logic dive. I was about to say, that's a lot of fucking spelling. Alright. Let's go, boys. Alright. Boom. Gone. Let's go. This man about to fuck my head up on the low. Oh my god, I hate it here. No, I got this full speed. Swag. Swag. Tony Hawk. Whole lot gang shit. Swag. Question 1. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? It would have to be above him, right? For the way it impaled him. Let's go. Alright, moving off school. I fucking hate it here. Let's go. Swag. Excuse me. Fuck, you come back too fast. I don't like that shit. Bro, I hate it. I fucking hate it here. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? A ceiling grinder, right? Because that was a clue. Okay, can I like not get hit anymore, please? Because I kind of need my health by this point. Bet. Fuck! I hate these damn things. It's like you gotta move slow enough to see it, but it's like no, because you could really pick up speed in this mini game. Hang on. Hang on. There you go. Let's go. Question 3. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling grinder? Wait. The rope on the rope on can I make that? Hell no. That's crazy. Maybe the spear scored. Right? There was blood marks on it. Oh, what is this fuckery? I was about to say, what the fuck is this fuckery?
It's all coming together.
Wait, now my influence game's about hella low.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up.
Perpendicular. In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
That'd be awesome, but he'd probably use the ceiling girder directly above him.
Big facts.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
Yo, can you imagine the pain that you would feel if that shit hit you like that? You would feel like Krillin in the DBZ Abridged by King Forest style when Frieza impaled him. Just be like, this is the worst pain.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real? He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
You really think he wouldn't?
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping a spear?
Yo, you gotta pay homage to this man's willpower. Cause you stab me once, whatever the fuck I'm holding, it's getting let go.
That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end.
Oh my god. Yo. Yeah, that didn't let go. I'd have died instantly on the spot.
Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
Also, just in case I don't have this. Thumbnail.
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
Yo, imagine getting found before it's done. Yo, you gotta live with the fact that not only did this happen, but also, like, that's gotta be the worst to welcome, because you know he stabbed deep. Nigga probably hit bone and everything, but you gotta heal that up. That's gonna be the worst pain you ever felt in your life.
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake. By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. Seriously, so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Jeez, I'm starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. mind-boggling malice that threatens as even as he died. Just the form his malice took. I'd forgotten all about that until now. He was here. He was here now. He'd probably be sneering.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right? Whatever became of that?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place? If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi. He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other, and tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
You are right, I suppose.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. Bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so he'd be executed.
That should be okay, right?
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what he's talking about. I don't think it was a mistake to assume that Nagito committed suicide, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? Is it because we don't know who the traitor is? Or...
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes. You're right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer?
Something's not right here. You don't push that hard for voting.
Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Facts. Like, Monokuma don't push that hard for voting.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, but...
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is. No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
Something related to Nagito's death? And it's something he couldn't even mess with?
You're gonna keep going? Here I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence he couldn't mess with. Wait. Oh my fucking god. Oh, here we go, boys. We might be getting a game over for round 2. Scientifically, here the bombs of the military base for angels. Something related to Nagito's death. A piece of evidence that. Okay. Wait. Oh, death for time death. Furthermore, laceration is. Fuck. Let's go with. However, he apparently never revealed that fact to anyone. I'm going to go with. I'm on the.
Crap!
Nope. No, it has something to do with his death. That's right. That he couldn't even influence. The body was discovered inside the hospital to try not only the spear stabbed through the stomach, there are multiple wounds in his thighs. Furthermore, the last version this time is a knife. Also, they never actually say what he died by in this, funnily enough. Maybe this?
I see.
Oh, okay, I was right. Shit. I called that piece out evidence.
Is it about the Monokuma file?
Facts. The Monokuma file never actually says what killed him. It's just like, oh, he had some lacerations on his arms, some stab wounds in his leg, and a spear ran through him. But every Monokuma file up to this point always specified something that killed him. You know what I mean? You know, for like Byakuya, it mentions the fact that he had stab wounds. For Byakuya's case, it mentioned he had stab wounds. For Ibuki and Hiyoko, it mentioned that Ibuki died from having a throat slit, and that Ibuki died from having a windpipe crush. I think it was crushed windpipe. It was something along that lines. But the point being, every Monokuma file did mention in some way, shape, or form how the victim died. This one just mentions the wounds they suffered.
Yeah, that's it. Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
The victim was Nagito Komade. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be around noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are also multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his hand. All those wounds, and they never brought up the fact of what actually killed him. The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki is worried about is, what is it? What's hidden in the Monokuma file? Bet, I know it. See? Let me keep this up here. Oh my god, there's so much! Can I get an F? Jesus Christ, my influence gauge. Can you not? Oh my god. Can y'all like chill the fuck out for 2 seconds? Oh my god. Yo, like calm the fuck down. Oh my god. Bro, I couldn't even imagine. On the hardest difficulty? How do you even? Hell yeah, we try.
We will never give up.
Bruh, what the actual fuck, Mo? Just fucked up. We were just fucked up on point. I hate myself. Hey, let's see. Okay, gonna allow you here we go. Ah! Fuck! Can y'all not, please? F. Give me a fucking F. For once in my life, give me a fucking F. D. E. I need an A. Come on. A. C. Where's the D's, damn it? Ow, my fuck. Ah, fuck, give me an H. No, fuck. Thank you.
I got it.
Sugar dick eating away at my influence stage. Well, I cannot do this on the harder difficulties.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Not only is the spear stabbed through the stomach, but there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled to his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death. But the cause of death is obvious, is it not?
Even if it's obvious, Monokuma's hidden a lot of things from us. The time? Yeah, sure. The time? Sure, yeah. Death? No, we kind of need that.
The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was the cause of death.
If it was that obvious, then why didn't he mention it?
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
My nigga, I'm sorry, but if somebody fucking dies in a death game and you're monitoring everything, I would kind of like to know how they died so I know what type of weapon I'm on the lookout for.
Well, Monokuma, I plead the fifth!
You don't get that.
Here he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Nikon's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case. Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death? Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
Yeah, until we also fucking realized that the cause of death wasn't even written in the fucking Monokuma file.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily?
I mean, you gotta
I
point.
mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
Oh yeah, this motherfucker got some elaborate plans on it.
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh? Because you believe in his malice, you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied, even if it's just to be safe. You're right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait.
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito says the same thing. That absolute hope can overcome any despair. He said that he was yearning for that. Then, in this situation we're in, might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. There we go.